Right Away After Party. My name's Cath.
And I'm Nic.
And today we have another guest. Guess what? We have another guest. We promised, and we have brought Heidi into the Right Away After Party because she does something quite unusual that we haven't seen yet. So Nic is going to do the official introduction, and then we're just going to pummel Heidi with questions.
Well, I'm going to do a really quick introduction because I like to hear from Heidi about herself. So,
Mhm.
Heidi Hess and I met each other when our kids were in preschool, and I have known her all this whole time. I discovered that she was a writer maybe what 10 years ago, I think it was, that we were talking about writing, and you were saying you wanted to jump into it, and you have practiced, writing for a long time, and what you do something so amazing. You write short stories, which I find that so fascinating because I like to write really long stories. But she has 3 books published, and she is an artist as well, and an entrepreneur and an organization runner, and I just can't wait to welcome her. So Heidi Hess, welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm really, really excited to be here and to talk about short stories and all kinds of good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh,
short stories, what drove you to write actual short stories? What about that?
Okay. So, Nic, we go back quite a ways, and in when the kids were in preschool, right? You
Mhm.
were writing, and I thought, wow, that would be great. But I found sitting down and writing, even sitting down to read, was a real challenge. My kids are 18 months apart, so I started really digging into short stories because I found that was easier than sitting down and reading, digesting a novel. It was just easier for me.
Mhm.
So Karen Russell is my favorite author. Love her. She wrote Swamplandia, but she also has several collections of short stories. And I thought, I love this. I love her writing style, and I would love to be able to do this. And, I kind of put it on the back burner for a little bit. The kids went to school. I started working, and then I started working for a comic book publishing company. And
Ooh.
yeah, yeah, and local, not local, but indie. So an indie publisher. And it was great because it really it started me thinking creatively. What can I do? And I started coming into contact with, a lot of the show organizers, like Comic-Con organizers, that kind of a thing, because for the comic book publishing company, that's what I did. I was marketing, public relations, and that was, getting the publishing company guested at different shows. So came into contact with a lot of people in the comic community, which is wonderful. And so I sat down and I started writing, and I thought, I think, if I put a collection together, this might be something that would do well at the Comic-Con. So I say paranormal short fiction. It's kind of an umbrella, but really it's whatever I think the story needs to be. So sometimes it's science fiction, sometimes it's historical fiction, sometimes it's horror, sometimes it's a lot of different things. I don't necessarily write genre as much as I do short stories. I love short stories.
I
Yeah,
was
it's
thinking it was more like macabre. I was thinking like that would be like a good broad way because I just like there's a lot
mm,
of like darkness to it, but there's like it's
mhm.
not sinister in a way and it's not horror. So it just
Yeah,
has like this macabre kind of like, mysterious kind of feel to it, which I love so much
yeah.
about your work.
Yeah, thank you. I
But
know I kind of liken it to if you've ever seen The Twilight Zone
yeah,
or Black Mirror. That's really, I mean, it's not, I don't write super gory stuff. I don't
no.
write yeah, it's macabre. It's the creepy. It's those creepy little bits that
And
people
such
forget
great
about.
twists too. Like I love your
Yeah.
little twists that you always have in your stories.
That's the best part. That's I,
Yeah.
I think that's the best part because a lot of the times I'm a discovery writer. They say pantser, but I don't like that. So I'm going to say discovery writer. But sometimes I'll have an idea for a story and I don't know where it's going. I don't know.
Mm,
And I think that's the best part, that
yeah.
discovery, being stuck somewhere, that writer's block. But writer's block really is a gift. It's if you don't know where it's going, that's good. Get out for a walk, go do something else. I like to paint, so sometimes I'll do that. It
Oh, yeah.
uses a different part of my brain, but the solution will always present itself, and it's almost always very twisty. So,
So take us through your process. So you're sitting down somewhere
Mhm.
and or walking maybe and an
Mhm.
idea just kind of comes to you or do you percolate an idea? Does a whole thing just kind of like, come upon you? Are you a treasure hunter like I am? I mean, what
Mhm.
do you start with usually?
So, I have found that historically in the past, if I'm relaxed, things will present themselves. Okay, and this is going to sound strange. So, the kids for a while were obsessed with Universal Studios. And so, we'd go to Universal Studios, we'd go on roller coasters. There's a ride there called Hagrid's Motorbike. I don't know if anybody
Yeah,
has,
yeah,
I love Hagrid's Motorbike. It's so much fun. But the great thing about that is the queue, so the line to get on the ride, it takes you through and it's very relaxing. There's this really chill music and you're wandering around and I'm with my family too, which means I'm relaxed. So I joke because a lot of my ideas have stemmed from being in that queue.
oh,
And
great.
I know that I'm not supposed to have my cell phone with me, but if I don't have my cell phone, I'm gonna forget. And so we'll be in line and I'll be like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. And things will just present themselves. I wrote a story for the Books of Horror. There's a Facebook page called Books of Horror, and they did an anthology and they were looking for something that was like fall or Halloween themed. Yay. And so I was in line and I had this idea for a short story, and it's called Harvest, and it's about a woman that a town thinks is potentially a witch, and she sells these seeds to this farmer. I don't want to spoil it, but it's in the anthology, Books of Horror anthology. I think I'm in the second edition, but
Yeah.
that's where I got the idea. I was just walking and I was like, yes, well, what would happen if these things turned into, I don't want to give it away, but
Yeah.
and it just kind of, but I have to be relaxed. So it doesn't
So
really
you're
matter
just
what I'm
ready.
doing.
You're ready for an idea whenever. You're just like ready.
Correct.
So
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's great. Technology, I never used to be a real big technology person, but my phone, I mean, I have all kinds of things. It's kind of like, in Elf, when that guy comes in,
oh,
I
he has
can't
his little
guess.
book. Yeah.
Peter Dinklage. Yes, yes, it's like that. It's like that. But my phone, I go through a story idea. Oh, this isn't good. Yeah, this is good. This is good. This might work.
So
Oh, yeah.
do you think you start with setting or character or idea or plot? What do you think you start with?
So I almost always start with an idea, but sometimes it'll be a character.
Mm.
And I wrote a short story in my first book called Flagler's Females. And, growing up here in Palm Beach County, Henry Flagler is, I mean, he's huge. He is, he's, responsible for developing the East
Yeah.
Coast of Florida. Um, and I started really kind of digging into his history, right? Now in Palm Beach County, he's revered. Everyone loves him.
Mm.
But I mean, he was a man. He was a man. He was a person. And he had been married like three times. The second wife, he was institutionalized for the rest of her life. And then my sister used to live in Canada, and we were driving back. I flew up there and we drove back. And we were on the highway, and there was this big sign, and it said Gothic Asylum, next exit. And I was like, pull over, we gotta go, we gotta go. And so we went there, and there was a list. So it's the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum.
Ooh,
And yeah, if you get a chance to go, it's really, really interesting. It dates back to like Civil War time, which is
wow.
it's kind of cool. But they had a whole wing of devoted just to women, and you went through the diagnoses, the different things that people were admitted for, and then kept there for the rest of their lives. And it was a lot of really what we would consider basic things today.
Yeah, like
Sad,
depression and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, right. Sadness, loss of a child, masturbation, all of these menstrual symptoms. And I thought, that's terrible. What an awful, awful thing. And then I started thinking about Henry Flagler and his second wife and what might have happened to her.
Mm.
And I thought, So I started putting some pieces together. So with that, it was, I think that was really character driven.
Well,
But
it was kind of a combination. It was like idea and character, which I thought is, I like that a lot. I like that you took an historical figure too and kind of like put a new kind of modern twist on it, because I love that story. It's pretty fascinating.
oh gosh, that was fun to write. Yeah, that was fun. And I think I like that. I like it when people there's a author, his name's Christopher Moore, and he writes some pretty weird stuff, but he has a book out called Sacre Bleu. And it's he personifies all of the great painters, Monet, Toulouse-Lautrec, trying to think here, Van Gogh. Yeah, and he's just he's a great writer. He's a great writer. But that's what he does. He personifies them and then creates these really creepy stories. So
I love that. All right, Heidi. Well, it's been fascinating talking to you about process and book. And next time we're going to talk about your actual Read It, Write It organization. And I can't wait to talk about that. And also to talk to you more about your process, because it's just fascinating. I love it. So come back for part 2 of Miss Heidi, and we will be back with Right Away After Party.
Thanks.
Love you, writer friends.